everyone, this is Grant from Spectra Racing, and this is how to make great sounding car videos. So, there's a couple things you'll need to make a great sounding car video, as you see in some of our videos here. So the first thing you'll need is this camera mount, and you want any camera mount with your standard tripod thread here. Now these are the metallic ones, linked below. You'll want a metal one. Don't try and get any cheap plastic ones for like a cell phone or something. All they'll do is fall off or break. So make sure you get the metal ones. So next up, obviously you're going to need some kind of camera. Now you can use GoPro like I have here. Now when you use a GoPro, you're going to need to alter it slightly because most of the GoPros come with your standard waterproof case. So what I did here, as you can see, is drilled a hole in the side here. It's not the cleanest, but the reason you'll need that is so you can attach the mic cable. Now what you can do is you can go on Amazon and you can order some cases that have these holes cut out for you already, but this is the cheap way of doing it. So this mic cable is a little mini USB to 3.5mm mic cable. Plugs in right here, and then you're good to go for the next step. So if you don't have a GoPro and you have like a standard handy cam, those will work too. Now these aren't as shock resistant, and you'll notice the video will come out a little bit more shaky than the GoPros, but they usually have mic cables built in. And you see Mo uses these a lot in his videos, and you know they do have zooms, so you can preset a zoom if you want to zoom in a little bit somewhere, and it's the same deal. You'll just attach it via the tripod mount here, and you'll want to attach the mic. No fancy mic cable there. That's about it. So the next thing you're going to need is a crap load of 3.5mm audio cable. And this you can get on Amazon, linked below. I would buy 25 feet if you want to run the remote setup like we run. Up next is your microphone selection. So this is more of the budget video. These microphones aren't ridiculously expensive because you can kind of spend as much as you want. And these are unpowered microphones. And when you get into powered microphones, that's where a lot of the money plays in. And we use some powered microphones in our videos, but it's kind of a hassle using them, and a lot of the car videos we simply just use this. And this is the Olympus stereo microphone. It's about $25. I've used it in probably about 80% of our videos, and it's great because it has a right and left channel. So there's no editing involved. Your video will just be good from the get-go. Now your other option is a little like lapel microphone. This is much cheaper. It's about $7. One downside is this will come out as a mono channel, meaning sometimes on the computer it'll default to the left channel only. So if you put headphones on, you're only going to hear it out of your left ear. So you do have to mess around with settings. Your video won't work right out of the box. You'll have to do some audio editing. But this microphone does sound really good. I did use this in the Autocross Ferrari video because that's all I had at the time, and couldn't find my good microphone. So to help with wind noise, you can also need a Windsock. Now this is not actually 100% necessary, as we'll get into it a little bit later in the video, but these you can get on Amazon, about $5–10 depending on the size. Link below for the one that I found works well. You'll need zip ties to keep it crunched on so it doesn't fly off in the wind. So lastly, besides zip ties, you need blue tape. Now, the blue tape is only necessary if you're going to wire the microphone over the car the side of the car, and rather than through the car. And all this does will keep your 25 feet of cable from flapping away or getting caught in something or just flying off. So the next decision you'll have to make is where to place the camera. Now you have a couple different options with that. You have the side view, like you see here. Now the side view is great because you can get forward looking, you can also get the driver, you can see your steering inputs. I personally don't like it because you can't see to the right of you. So you can see to the left, but you can't really see that great to the right. So the next view would be the top view, which is mounting the camera on top of the windshield, on top of your mirror. And that's a great view. It's a little high, but it does provide, you can see everything. Now you can't see your steering input, so you'll have to use then a secondary inside camera. So the downside with that is you'll have to wire the microphone on the outside of your car, which involves covering it in blue tape and wiring the microphone to the back of the car, which will show you where to place the microphone here in a minute. And the last view, the one I prefer, is inside the car. Now putting it inside the car has the benefit of you'll never have to worry about bug strikes. I've had 2 critical videos ruined by bug strikes. You won't have to route the cable, with a whole bunch of blue tape or any of that kind of jazz. The downsides are you will get glare from the windshield, so it's kind of a pain. You can see in some of the videos here where you have bad glare, and you'll have to kind of route the cable somewhere away from you. So I kind of tuck it into the side headliner and back through the back. And what you can then do is just wire the cable through the trunk to the back of the car. Now you can also use a combination of these where you can put the GoPro on the side or the top of the car for those views, and then wire it back into the car, but then you just got to be conscious of opening your door and ripping everything out and those kinds of things. Alright, so the most important part about making a great sounding car video is microphone placement. So once you get your camera set up where you like it, run your cable to the back of the car. So the way you do that, if it's inside, run it through the inside to the back to the trunk here, through your seats or whatever, or use the blue tape and run the cable over the car to the side of the car. You can see in my Ferrari video here, we had to run it over the top of the car onto the side because it's a rear engine car, having to avoid all the hot places in the car. So you're going to run your cable to the back here. You want to make sure you have a license plate frame, not like me on this car here. So what you'll do, take your windsock, and you shouldn't really need this if your car is loud enough like mine, but if your car's a little quiet or it's a windy day, couldn't hurt to have one of these. So take your mic and windsock here, and you're going to zip tie it to your license plate frame. And what you'll do is, if your car license plate vibrates a little bit, you might want to stick some tape behind there. Just jam some blue tape behind there if you don't want to harm your car, or get some door sealant from garage sealant, I should say, from Lowe's, and put it behind here. This is a brand new license plate, so I haven't done it yet, and honestly my car is so loud you would never hear any of the kind of rattling. But if your car is a little bit quieter, you might pick it up. So that kind of goes on to another thing of this. The one con of doing this method is that if your car isn't loud enough, it won't really work that great. So my Miata, for instance, in this video, you can see all you heard is a tire noise. The car isn't loud enough. So make sure you have at least, your car is loud enough for the mufflers, aftermarket mufflers or exhaust or something, but most people that are going to do this are probably going to have it. So once you got your mic in place, you'll want to drive around, do some testing. Now you'll see most of the time this will work because it is a low pressure zone, meaning all the air is going to flow over, and you won't get a lot of wind here because the way the car flows. So you shouldn't hear any wind. You might hear a little bit. If your car is loud enough, this microphone, it'll just pick up the sound of your mufflers and everything, like in my videos. And do some low speed tests, some high speed tests. Get up on the highway, But do make sure everything is secure, especially if you have to use a lot of blue tape on the cord and everything. Now you see on my car, if you're wondering how my car is set up, I have everything permanently mounted because it's a race car and I do it so often I don't want to have to keep taking it on and off. So I actually just have a hole drilled and I just plug it in when I'm ready to go. So if you got a race car, that's an option as well. So that's about it. You'll see that it'll work right out of the box, especially if you use the stereo microphone. Now if you want to opt for the cheaper microphone, the little lapel one, you will need a bit of software. I would recommend RaceRender, although then RaceRender is $50, so it kind of puts you back in a different bucket. RaceRender will allow you to convert audio channels into a mono into a stereo, which you just kind of blend the audio channel. It's not a true stereo, left and right, but at least on your headphones or something, it won't come on just your left ear. So some of the downsides to this method is if you have a turbocharged or supercharged car, you're not really going to hear too much of the spooling noise or the whine noise. So what you can do is get a second camera and a second setup of microphones and things like that, and find a good place in your car to hear that noise. Now, what I've done is combined those channels together. Now you will need then more expensive software, at least Adobe Premiere or some cheaper like I use, Movie Studio Platinum 10. RaceRender is a great piece of software, but you can't really do too much with that. It's usually limited to a few different video channels. So if you just want to use an easy method and make your car sound great, I'd recommend this. It's pretty foolproof, and as you see, it's really easy to set up, and it really, as long as you got a camera, it really shouldn't cost you more than $50. So that's about it. Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. It really does help us out. Be sure to check out the rest of our content here. It's all grassroots racing, cool cars, how-to guides, all this kind of cool stuff. If you have any suggestions, please post them below. Thanks again for watching.